We're here to break down the Xfinity Series race, get some final thoughts in for the race at Homestead Miami Speedway. If you guys have any questions, be sure to leave those questions below. I will answer all of them. Make sure to leave a like on this video, helps me out a ton. If you're not a subscriber, which you probably are if you're watching this, to be honest. But if you're not, be sure to leave a subscribe as well. So yeah, that's really
we're here to break down the Xfinity Series race, get some final thoughts in for the race at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Oops.
You guys have any questions, be sure to leave those questions below. I will answer all of them. Make sure to leave a like on this video.
I'm
helps me out a ton.
So
if you're not a subscriber, which
I'll
you probably
play my
are.
own video on a whole nother screen. Okay, we're good now. I'm just stupid. It's cool though. Let me pull up this document so I can read it for the video. Okay, so Tyler Reddick's first driver we're going to talk about today. He is driving for RSS Racing, but his car is going to actually be an Hour Motorsports car, which if I don't know if you know what the Hour Motorsports team is, that's who Brett Moffitt drives for. To be honest, I don't think I'm all that interested in Reddick. I'm going to play him a little bit because he does offer us a place differential upside, and he should be able to get us a top 10. But I don't see him leading laps. I don't see him winning this race just because his equipment is just nowhere close to as good as someone like Noah Gradson, Allmendinger, Ty Dillon, Cindric, Allgaier, Burton, Jones, Hamrick, Haley, Herbst, any of those guys. Annette, Snyder, Burton, like all those guys have better equipment than Reddick. I mean, yeah, Reddick's a great driver, but at the same time, I just don't see him winning this race. So I do think he is a good play. I think he's fine for cash because he is going to give us a ton of place differential, but still, for the most part, I don't see him leading a ton of laps and having that much insane upside. Noah Gragson's up next, 11,300. Now, Noah Gradson is going to be my favorite play my favorite pay-up play of the slate. I think my favorite value play we'll get into, but Gradson is my favorite pay-up play for the slate. Oh, and before I get into him, let me talk about Reddick. To pay off Reddick's salary, he does need a top 11. I do think that's going to happen. I think Reddick gets a top 11 because he isn't like a top 15 car, and his talent is better than a lot of those guys, so I think he finds a way to get up in there. I think he'll hit value, but I don't think it's going to be enough for it to really be a tournament-winning lineup. I still will play him. I would play him in cash because all the place differential he offers, but still at the same time probably wouldn't call him a lock or anything. Noah Gragson needs a top 5 to pay off his salary, and Noah Gragson is going to definitely be my favorite pay-up spot here today. He starts 23rd, offers a ton of place differential. Upside, he has the second best average finish at Miami, 5th best average finish at intermediate tracks, and 2nd best average finish at steep tracks. When you look at average position as well, he has the 2nd best average position at Miami, 3rd best at intermediates, and 3rd best at steep tracks in the field. He has 174 laps led here over the last few years, and 444 intermediates, which is it's the 3rd most in the field, but not counting Reddick, the 2nd most. And then 305 laps led at steep tracks as well. Very good at these types of tracks and this track. And last year, Gradson. Okay, so last year, if you didn't watch Xfinity Series last year, they did the Homestead Miami track like back-to-back days. So they ran one on Saturday, one on Sunday, or it might have been Friday and Saturday. I don't remember the exact dates of them, but that's what they did. And Noah Gradson led over 80 laps in both races. He should have won both races, and literally in both races, there was a caution that came out with 2 laps to go, and there was a late restart. Everyone pitted. There was a late restart. He got past and he didn't win. He was the best car in both those races. I expect that to happen again. He is a classic driver who loves to ride around the outside of these tracks, so that's going to be something that should look very good for Noah Gradson. So starting in 23rd, offers us so much place differential upside, offers us dominator upside, should be able to get into position to lead laps as well. I love him a lot today. And then AJ Allmendinger. Now Gradson, everyone knows that about Gradson. Like, it's not like I just said something that nobody freaking knows. Like, everyone knows that. But that's going to make AJ Allmendinger lower owned. Like, Gragson's going to get the ownership. Starting 24th, AJ Allmendinger looks really good as well. He has the 2nd best average finish at Homestead Miami Speedway, the best average finish at intermediate tracks, the 4th best at steep tracks. And look at average position, 8th best at Homestead, 6th best at intermediates, and 12th best at steep tracks. He's a really good intermediate race car driver, and I don't think he's going to get the ownership, so AJ Allmendinger does look like a good play. Finally, in oval, these road courses and restrictor plates are too much of a gamble. Yeah, man, especially the restrictor plates. Those road courses usually aren't that bad, but that was a disaster doing that race last week. It was just awful. I'm really excited to get to an oval. A lot more predictable, I guess, is what you can say. So I do like that a lot. I'm happy that we're at this track this week. Ty Dillon's up next at $10,500. I'm not really all that interested in Ty Dillon. He needs a top 2 to pay off that salary. Like, they priced him up, and he's not starting as far in the back as these other guys like Allmendinger and Gradson. So he needs to finish a little bit higher. Can he lead laps? Yeah, he's in the fast car. That 54 car that we saw Ty Gibbs in last week won that race. But I mean, I don't think this 54 car is like a cheat code or anything. Like, it's not like, I don't necessarily think it's that much better. I don't even think it's the best car in the field, to be honest. I will say, I honestly believe that 98 car that Riley Herbst drives is the best car in the Xfinity Series. Now, Riley Herbst's talent is a different story, but that car is the best car. We've seen drivers for Stewart-Haas Racing over and over again be very, very successful in the Xfinity Series. Anyway, Ty Dillon in his 54 car, like last year, we saw Kyle Busch lose races in this car. We saw Denny Hamlin lose a race in this car last year. Like, this is not like this cheat code of a car. And like Ty Dillon, I honestly just don't think the talent's there. Like, I think Gradson, Reddick, Allmendinger, Cindric, they're all, in my opinion, they're more talented drivers than Ty Dillon. So I don't think that this is a great play in my opinion. He needs to lead laps. He needs to finish really, really high to pay off that salary. I just think it's less likely than some of these other guys. So I'm not really interested in Ty Dillon as much. I know a lot of other people are, but that's just how I feel about today. I'm not going to be all that interested in him. Austin Cindric starts on the pole for 10,200. Love Cindric here today. He is the 5th best average finish at Miami, 9th best at intermediates, and 11th best at steep tracks. When you look at the average position, he is the 3rd best average position at Miami, 7th best at intermediates, and 5th best at steep tracks. When you look at laps led, he's a great lap leader at these intermediate tracks. He has 124 laps led at Homestead Miami Speedway as well. Has the most laps led in the field at intermediate tracks, and 246 at steep tracks, which is up there as well. So Cindric, we know what he is. He's probably the championship favorite at this point. Great race car driver, driving net number 22 for Penske Racing. Starts on the pole. He should be able to lead at least the very early laps. I don't know if he wins this race. I think he's definitely a top 5 car, and if he leads those laps early on, that's going to be very valuable. So Austin Cindric does look really good for me. That's someone I'm very interested in. Justin Allgaier starting 19th. I think he's okay. Oh, I've been forgetting to say what these drivers need to pay off their salary. Ty Dillon needs top 2. I said that. Cindric needs to win and lead laps and finish high. Justin Allgaier to pay off his salary needs a top 6. I think that's possible, but he's not the best intermediate track driver. He's good. Starts 19th, offers us some place differential upside. Never been good at Homestead, but at other intermediate tracks, he has the 7th best average finish and the 6th best at steep tracks. When we look at average position, he has the 7th best at Miami, 5th best at intermediates, and the best at steep tracks. But 2 of the other steep tracks in NASCAR are Dover and Bristol, and they're nothing really like Homestead Miami Speedway, to be honest. And he's like the best in the field of those tracks, so I wouldn't consider this a race that's really similar to those. So I'm not really too interested in Allgaier here. He does offer us some place differential if you want to go there. I think that's fine, but still, for the most part, I like the upside of some of the other guys around him more. Harrison Burns, $9,600, starts 3rd. To pay off his salary, he needs to win and lead some laps, or just lead some laps and finish in the top 5. I think that's definitely possible for him. We did see him win this race a year ago. Now, he was not the dominant car, and only 2 laps he led were the last 2 laps of the race. At Miami, he has the 4th best average finish, 2nd best at intermediates, and the best at steep tracks. At average position, he has the 4th best at Miami, 2nd best at intermediates, and 4th best at steep tracks. He's a good driver. He should hang around the top 10, maybe get out front and lead some laps. I do like him as a lower-owned dominator play here today. I think Harrison Burns and Brandon Jones are very similar plays. As we get into Brandon Jones, he starts 4th at $9,300. He has the 6th best average finish at Miami, 12th best at intermediates, 7th at steep tracks. When you look at average position, he has the 6th best average position at Miami, 8th best at intermediates, and 7th best at steep tracks. And Brandon Jones needs to win and lead laps, or just lead some laps and hang around that top 5 for him to pay off. That should be really good. Need one to finish out of my lineup. Need one to finish out my lineup. I thought you said need one of these guys to finish the race. That would have been like... But Curry, Parsons, Hill, Fincham, mostly from a cash perspective, thanks. I would go with... It's either going to be Bailey, Curry, or Parsons. I like Parsons better. I think his talent's a little more than Curry. I believe both of them race for B.J. McLeod, right? Let me just make 100%. One of them might race for Mike Harmon. I just want to... Okay, Curry's for Harmon, Parsons is for McLeod. I mean, Curry starts a little bit farther back, but I trust the car on Parsons more a little bit. I would probably go Parsons. And that'll allow you to pay up for a little bit more as well. So I think I'd go Stephen Parsons. Up next, we got Daniel Hamrick, starting 2nd at $9,100. He has not been great at Miami, but at intermediate tracks, he has been good. 4th best average finish at Miami, 13th at steep tracks. For Hamrick to pay off, he needs to win and lead laps here. I just don't see it. I think he's in a good car, but I think the other 2 Gibbs cars behind him are just better. So Brandon Jones and Burton, I would just prefer to Hamrick. I mean, I think they're all fine. They're all kind of the same idea of a play. You hope they lead laps, and you hope they end up in that top 5, but I would prefer Burton and Jones. Do we think anyone's starting Parks? Yeah, I do. I do think that David Starr probably starting Parks again. Like, to be honest, I haven't checked in an hour. I can go check that right now, but I haven't heard anything out of MBM yet. Like, I don't know if Starr Fincham and Hill are racing yet. Like, I think they're probably starting parking. I'm going to actually go look that up right now. Let me go see if I can find it on Twitter. It'll take me 2 seconds. But from what I've heard so far is that they are probably going to be starting parking. Yeah, still nothing, man. I still can't find anything about these guys. Let me just go look at Tim Hill's Twitter account real quick. But I would say that I would stay away from those guys because we don't know what their sponsors are. I haven't seen anything about them having a sponsor. I haven't seen anything about them like actually driving a race. So yeah, I would say that I wouldn't say 100% that Star, Hill, and Fincham start in park, but I think there's a high chance of it, and I would just stay away from them. But nobody else aside from them will start in park. Let me keep going down the list here. We have Justin Haley. To pay off Justin Haley's salary, he's going to need a top 3. Definitely viable for him. He's a really good driver. Starts 8th here. Only his 16th best average finish in Miami is not great, but at intermediate tracks and steep tracks, he's done well. 6th best at intermediates and 9th best at steep tracks, so he's been pretty solid there. Riley Herbst is going to be like one of my favorite plays. If not, well, I think Gradson and JJ Yellier are my 2 favorite plays, but Herbst kind of comes in there in the middle here. I don't understand his pricing. He starts 29th here, and he only needs a top 15 to pay off that salary. He is in, I mean, like I said, I think this 98 car might be the best car in the field, to be honest. He has an easy top 10 car, easy. If he can just keep the car clean, he has a top 10 car. Then he has top 5 upside, and he can even win this race. I wouldn't be that shocked if Riley Herbst won. I mean, I kind of would because it's Riley Herbst, but at the same time, this car is so good. Only the 8th best average finish at Miami, and 13th best at intermediates, and 8th best at steeps, but, I mean, that's all better than the top 15 you need to pay off that salary. Riley Herbst, great for cash, great for tournaments, love him here. Michael Annette's $8,500. He starts 18th. I think Michael Annette is a really good play as well. He needs a top 9 to pay off that salary. 9th best average finish in Miami, 8th best at intermediates, and 12th best at steep tracks. Seems fine to me. He has a ton of upside to finish inside that top 10 for sure. We saw him, I think, finish in the top 5 here a year ago, so definitely Michael Annette's someone I want to get to a lot here. Mike Snyder, who is this year, this has gone overlooked, but he's in a really good car here, like driving for Richard Childress Racing. Snyder needs a top 6 to pay off that salary, starting 10th. I think he can do it. I don't think it's a lock. I think it's definitely more of a tournament play than some of these other guys around him. Like, I think Annette, Herbst have way better chances to pay off their salary than Snyder, but at the same time, he's in a RCR car that we've seen Tyler Reddick win a championship in. We've seen, now I'm not saying Snyder's going to win a championship, but it's a good car. Anthony Alfredo ran really well in that car last year, so. And a lot of Snyder's stats are not from that car. I mean, there's a few, but at the same time, there's a lot that are not. So, Mike Snyder, I do like as a tournament play, $8,300. Jeb Burton needs a top 4 to pay off his salary. I'm going to avoid that. I don't think he finishes in the top 4. I just don't think he's a top 4 driver, to be honest. That's pretty much where I stand with him. Ryan C needs a top 12 to pay off his salary, starting 22nd at $8,000. That's definitely in the cards for him. Not a great average finish in Miami, but at intermediates and steep tracks, he does 10th and 10th at both. So I think he should be able to finish in top 12. Looks like a pretty good tournament play for me. Josh Berry needs a top 12 to pay off his salary as well. Really like Josh Berry here. I don't have any stats for him because he's kind of a new driver, but he starts in the back, starting 20th. In the Junior Motorsports number 8 car, so that's the same car that's the same team as Noah Gradson, Justin Allgaier, and Michael Annette for Junior Motorsports, and they're all top 10 cars every single week, so I don't see why Josh Berry can't be, especially starting 20th, offers a lot of place differential upside, so that's going to be something that I like for sure, is Josh Berry. Brett Moffitt is $7,700, starting 6th. He needs a top 5 to pay off that salary. That's just not a top 5 car, and it's not a top 5 talent in Brett Moffitt, so I don't want to go there. Jeffrey Earnhardt needs a top 20 to pay off his salary, starting 36 at $7,500. Now, I just really don't want to pay that much money for Jeffrey Earnhardt, to be honest. He did well here last year, finishing top 20 both his races, but other intermediate tracks, he has not done well in that car. Only 21st best average finish at intermediates and 21st best at steep tracks. I think he can get a top 20, which would pay off his salary, but at the same time, the ceiling is not that high. Like, that's his ceiling. It's just paying it off. So I don't think that he really ends up in the optimal here. If he was a little cheaper, yeah, but at that price tag, I'm just not going to really be interested in that all that much. Santino Ferrucci is $7,300. He starts 21st here today. To pay off his salary, he is going to need a top 13. This is a good car in the Sam Hunt equipment, but at the same time, I don't think that a top 13, I think a top 13 is like his ceiling. I don't want to pay for that. I think there's better value plays to get to. Alex Labbe starts 25th at $7,200. To pay off his salary, Labbe needs a top 16. This is kind of the same thing. I mean, I think that's kind of his ceiling. And to be honest, I don't even know if that really happens. So Alex Labbe is not going to be someone really interested in. Let me get a drink of water right here. Jeremy Clements starts 9th at $7,000. He needs a top 9 to pay off that salary. I mean, again, I think that's a ceiling. I don't really see him finishing inside the top 9. The stats don't back that up, so I don't really want to get there. Ryan Vargas is probably going to be someone who's popular, starting 35th at $6,900, but I don't want to pay that for that either. He has he needs a top 21 to pay off his salary, and I don't think he does it. To be honest, I just don't think he does. I mean, all the stats say he won't, so I don't think that happens. And even if he does, it's kind of a ceiling. I don't see him really getting like a top 15 or anything and doing really well for us. Josh Williams is kind of an interesting tournament play, just from the fact that he needs a top 12 to pay off his salary, and he can definitely do that starting 15th. He's not that expensive. I think he can finish up a little bit higher. It's only a tournament play for sure, but, I mean, he's going to be really low owned. But the ceiling's there. The floor is not. So he's not a good cash play. If he sucks, like, sorry. Like, I mean, just that's in the cards for Josh Williams. He's not that great, but he has the possibility to finish inside that top 13 and pay off that salary. So that makes me somewhat interested in him. Brandon Brown is $6,500 starting 7th. He needs a top 9 to pay off his salary. I don't really think that's going to happen. He's kind of a top 10 car at best. That's kind of a ceiling as well, so I don't want to pay for that. Jade Buford starts 31st. I'm not going to be interested in him because I still don't really know what this car is, what this team is. I mean, he had mechanical problems really early in the race at the Roval last week, so I don't want to pay for that without knowing what that car is. Maybe after this week we'll have an idea of what Jade Buford is for the season. But for now, I think I want to stay away. Greg Gaulding, I know, is interested in the original video for this, but I think I'm off him now. He needs a top 31, he needs a top 19 to pay off his salary. He needs 31 points. And starting 26, I don't know if that's really going to happen. I mean, this Jimmy Means car is okay, but I don't know. This is kind of the same thing as Buford. I kind of just want to wait and see on this car. I think it's okay, it's interesting, but at the same time, I don't think I'm going to be all that interested in that. Landon Castle starts 11th. He's $6,000 to pay off his salary. Landon Castle is going to need a top 12. I mean, it can happen, but I wouldn't bank on it. Tommy Joe Martins needs a top 20 to pay off his salary. I think this is definitely viable. Now, it's kind of unlikely, but it has happened. We have seen Tommy Joe Martins have good runs at the intermediate and intermediate tracks in the past, especially last year when they got past mechanical issues and stuff. So we've seen him be able to do it, but at the same time, I don't think it happens. But J.J. Yaley, this is my favorite play in the slate. I almost played 100% of him in my lineup today. I'm not going to lie. I literally almost played 100%. Didn't. Backed off a little bit because I don't really ever like playing 100% of somebody. But, I mean, this is about as close to a lock as you're going to get. To pay off his salary, he needs a top 25. He's in the number 17 car for Rick Ware Racing here. Or he's actually driving for SS Greenlight Racing, but it's owned by Rick Ware. So, and every time we've seen J.J. Yaley drive this car, he's finished inside the top 20. Like, every single time. So, I love that starting 39th. He has 9th best. He finished 11th here a year ago. I don't think that's going to happen, but in finishing inside the top 25, yeah, that can certainly happen. I expect a top 20 here for J.J. Yaley, to be honest. I really like this spot here. I mean, that's kind of one of the first. Him and Gradson are kind of the first two I just plug into a lineup. And maybe Herbst as well. Those are kind of the guys I just start with, but definitely Yaley and Gradson are guys I just want to plug in immediately. Bailey Curry starts 34th. Curry needs a top 24 to pay off his salary. He's driving for Mike Harmon Racing. I think it can happen. I would call it a lot less likely paying off the salary some of these other guys, but still, Bailey Curry definitely has the upside to definitely pay off that salary. Timmy Hill starts 33rd. We already talked about Hill and Fincham. The MBM cars, I'm not really all that interested in. I know Fincham says Hattori there, but sometimes it's an MBM car, sometimes it's a Hattori racing car. They're kind of in a weird partnership or whatever. I believe this week it's an MBM car. Usually it's when Austin Hill drives, and who's the other driver? Stephen Light. Whenever he's driving that car, it's usually a Hattori car, but when Fincham's in it, it's usually an MBM car, so I'm really not going to be all that interested in him. Dexter Bean, I actually am interested in Dexter Bean here. I don't think he'll get any ownership. He never does. Bean needs a top 24 to pay off that salary. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but starting 32nd, it definitely is possible. He's in a decent enough equipment in the DGM Racing number 90. I think he's either in the 90 or 91. It's the same team. It doesn't really matter. Only one of those cars is racing this week, so whichever one he's in, I don't know exactly which number, but Dexter Bean definitely is an interesting value play for tournaments here. I probably wouldn't go there for cash, but he's definitely an interesting tournament play. Martins or Curry for cash? I'd probably go Bailey Curry just because he has a higher floor. He starts 34th, where Martin starts 27th. I mean, I think Martin's has a little bit higher finishing upside, but the floor is a lot lower. Like, if Martin's was starting like 30th, I think I'd go there, but starting 27th, I think I'd rather just play Bailey Curry for cash. That's a tough one. I wouldn't honestly expect too much from either, but both of them are fine for me for cash, I think. I would probably prefer Curry a little bit. Stephen Parsons at $5,100 starting 30th. I think he's a good play in the BJ McLeod car. Every time he's gotten that car, he's drove pretty decently. Needs a top 23 to pay out that salary. We've seen him get top 20s in the past in this car, so Stephen Parsons looks like good for me. If you want to play him in tournaments, he's fine. If you want to go for cash, I think that's fine too. I don't think you need to, but I think Parsons is fine for cash. David Starr, I don't want to play just because I don't know if this car is racing. Now, the one guy that I think is great for cash that I haven't heard anyone talk about yet, maybe you already have him in there, but maybe not, is Colby Howard. $4,900 is way too cheap for him starting 28th. To pay off this salary, he needs a top 22, and we've seen Colby Howard get inside that top 20 before. He has 14th best average finish at Homestead Miami Speedway. Very good. He has found a way to drive up inside the top 20 multiple times, found a way to drive inside the top 25 multiple times, and he's only $4,900. He's way too cheap. I think that's definitely a spot to go. I really like his upside. That's definitely something I like. Who would you take at $5,900 or what? But I think at $5,900, well, J.J. Aley. If you don't have him already in your lineup, J.J. Aley. But if you do, then yeah, probably just Tommy Joe Martins or Bailey Curry. Either one's fine. $5,900 or under to fill out your lineup. Yeah, J.J. Aley. That's the first one I'd say. But I think, a lot of people already have him in. So if you already have J.J. Aley in, the guys I really like $5,900 below are especially Colby Howard. But if you just don't want to, if you have a lot of money left over, I'd probably not pay for Colby Howard, and I'd go to Bailey Curry or Tommy Joe Martins. Jesse Little, Kyle Weatherman, Joe Graf Jr., and Matt Mills are kind of in a tier of their own. I'm really not that interested in all of them. I think Graf's going to get ownership this week, but I don't want to pay for that, man. I mean, he needs a top 18 to pay off that salary, and while it's definitely viable, Joe Graf finds a way to wreck every week, and I just don't think this equipment's really all that. I don't want to go to Joe Graf at all. Jesse Little needs a top 16, Weatherman needs a top 15, and Mills needs a top 18. I don't see it happening for any of those guys, so I'm not going to go there. Below 5K, I want Colby Howard, and that's really it. Anybody have any questions to ask me? Because I'm glad to answer any questions right now. That's kind of what I am here for. So, let's see who my guy Bob picked to win this week. I read it earlier, and it was surprising. I do remember seeing a shocker. Who my guy Bob picked to win this race. Notification from Fantasy Labs, fun stuff. Bob Pockris. We picked Daniel Hamrick to win. That's interesting. I don't think that happens. I'm just not a big Hamrick guy. I don't think he's that good. I think he could be a top 5 driver all year, but I don't think he'll win a race. Gradson second, Cindric third, Ty Dillon fourth, Harris Merton fifth. Yeah, that's good. That's a good group of drivers right there. Who's a driver in top-notch equipment that has a hard fade for you today? Allgaier. Well, I mean, I don't know if he's a hard fade. I don't have a hard time fading Justin Allgaier at all. I don't want to play him. He's not great at this track that much, and I just don't think his ceiling is as high. I don't think he leads laps. We haven't seen him. He has 0 laps led in Miami over the last few years. 324 to intermediates. Now, it does sound like a big number, but he's raced so many more races than a lot of these guys. So, Allgaier, it's definitely just an Allgaier. Tyler at Mustang Cash? No, I don't think so. I don't think you have to play Tyler Reddick in Cash. I would rather play Gradson in Cash for sure. If you have the money to get him, I think he's fine, but I don't think you need to play him. I don't think he's a guaranteed top 5 finish here. I think he's a guaranteed top 15, as assuming he doesn't wreck, but guaranteed top 5, no. So Reddick, yeah, no, I don't think he's a Mustang Cash. Tomorrow he is, but for the Xfinity race, no. But yeah, Allgaier definitely is my biggest fade in the top-notch equipment, guys. I don't want him. I mean, unless you consider Daniel Hamrick. I don't think I have any Hamrick today. I just opted to play more Jones and Burton. What's up, Nate? It's Empress Ray Twitter. Oh, what's up? I know who you are. What's up? Let's take a drink here. Really like Gradson today. That's my pick to win this race, to be honest, is Noah Gradson. I think he wins. I just think he's got to get revenge for last year. I'm really a big Noah Gradson fan. I think he's going to be really good. A lot of people hate on him, but I think he's really good. And I'm expecting big things from him this year. I think this year, and then maybe next year, if he's in Xfinity another year, he's going to be really, really good. So that's probably my pick to win today. I think Cindric does well. I have a lot of Gradson, I have a lot of Cindric, I have a lot of Burton, I have a lot of Jones. The rest of these guys up top, I have some Reddick. I have some Allmendinger, no Ty Dillon, I faded him. That's another fade, I guess, is Ty Dillon. I don't think he's talented here enough. I think he's too expensive. Yeah, Ty Dillon and Allgaier are probably my biggest fades. Any other questions? Because if I don't get any questions about how dare you pick against the Bob? The Bob. Chuck, I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what you're saying. My friend is like, I'm going to play Jeffrey, and I'm like, good luck with that. Yeah. Honestly, this morning when I first started making lineups, I actually had Jeffrey Earnhardt in lineups, and that was just like, it's $7,500 for Jeffrey Earnhardt, man. Like, he's got a high floor. Like, he probably won't hurt you that bad, but at the same time, like, I mean, the fact that I haven't scrolled down and he's still right here, he should not be right there. He's not as good enough equipment and good enough a driver to be $7,500. I don't want that at all. That's not going to be something that I'm really that interested in at all. How dare you pick against the Bob? I still don't know what that is. I'm really confused. Let me see if I can figure it out. Probably going to feel like an idiot in a minute, but... Hopefully this race starts out with Cindric getting a good lead. Who do you think gets Dom points? Cindric's going to get, as I was saying, Cindric's going to get the Dom points at the beginning. I expect him or probably Burton or Jones. Like, they're going to jump out to the big lead. But then Noah Gradson, who has just been insane at this track. I mean, he led 80 laps in each of the two races here last year. The second, or besides Reddick, the Xfinity regulars, the second most laps led in the Xfinity series at the intermediate tracks right now. I'd expect him to get up there eventually and lead laps. I mean, Noah Gradson last year at this track was absolutely insane. He's so good at this track. You have these drivers who like to drive around the outside. Like in the Cup Series, we all know Kyle Larson loves driving on that outside, riding that wall. Tyler Reddick's another one that loves to drive on that wall. He's really good at it, and then Noah Gragson's up next. I think he leads laps. I think Cindric leads laps. I think Burton maybe leads a few. Those are probably my top three dominators, and maybe a Allmendinger. So those are probably the guys I think of the most Dom's points. Gragson's win, Hey, I mean, I understand if you don't think Gradson wins. I think Gradson wins. I think he's just insane at this track, and I think he wins. Probably meant Pockrass. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I always pick against Bob. Bob's picks are like bad. Last year, I'll never forget when Bob Pockrass on Twitter said that, last year on Twitter, this guy said Eric Jones, who was at the time in the number 20 car for JGR, called him a sleeper pick. And I was just like, I mean, that's not what it was. It wasn't Eric Jones. Who was it? There was someone he picked as like a sleeper pick who had like won a race like the week before. And I was like, that's not a sleeper pick. I don't remember exactly what it was. I don't know which of us spelled it right. I was just answering him, LOL. Yeah, it's Pockrass. Chuck spelled it right. Wes, you were wrong. Pockrass. His picks are interesting. I remember at Daytona when he picked all like top tier drivers to be in the top 5 to 500. I'm like, that's not going to happen. I mean, then Michael McDowell won, of course. Oh, I need some more water. Any more questions here? Because if not, I'm going to head out. Let me see if I got any questions on the phone, because sometimes I be getting them in the Discord. Also, if you're new here, if this is your first time watching, go check out the Cup video for tomorrow. Go check out the Xfinity video I already posted, because, I mean, I'll give you some more. I probably talked more in detail in that one than this one, to be honest. Although I wasn't on Tyler Reddick as much as I am in that video as I am now, but if you, go check out that video. Go check out my Cup video for tomorrow. I'm going to be going live at probably about the same time tomorrow for the Cup Series. Sleeper picks to make optimal. Michael Annett, I think that's one that's not going to get ownership that could. I think Josh Berry, same thing. I think both those guys are going to be very under-owned for the price and the equipment they're in, especially where they're starting. Down here towards the bottom, like, I could see Landon Castle doing well. Like, I'm not playing Landon Castle today, but, like, in this JD Motorsports car, especially last year, I don't think Landon Castle... I think Landon Castle's the best driver he ever had, so... But he starts so high, so probably not. I don't think J.J. Yale is really a sleeper pick at this point. I think Dexter Bean is a sleeper to make the optimal. I think Stephen Parsons is a sleeper to make the optimal. So those are probably guys I think are more like sleepers. Up top, I like Annett and Berry more. And then if they lead laps, like, I think Burton and Jones are going to be lower-owned drivers who could lead laps and be dominators in this race. And those are going to be guys that could be sleepers as well. Hey, Mom. Everyone's playing Noah Gradson today. I can't be a sleeper. Like, I think he makes the optimal, man. I think he wins this race. But even if he doesn't, I definitely expect him to be in the top 5 and at the very least leading laps. And in the top 5, he's paying off that salary. So, like, in my projections today, he was my highest projected driver. And it wasn't even close. Any other questions? I feel like Daniel Hamrick's someone I'm never going to play this year. Then eventually he's going to win a race and it's going to kill me and I'm going to have the worst day at DraftKings. Like, that's going to happen. I don't think Hamrick's good. It's just going to happen eventually. I'm just going to be screwed that one day. Maybe it happens today and I get screwed. First time winner. It'd be cool. I want him to win a race. I like Hamrick. He seems like a good guy, but I just don't think he's that good. I think, you said sleeper pick to be an optimal, but sleeper pick to win is Herbst. Herbst is going to win a race this year. He's in too good of a car. He's in too good of a car to not win a race this year. Who's going to win? LL Gradson. Gradson wins. Gradson's my number 1 pick. I think probably Burton's my number 2. Then Cindric, then Allgaier, and Jones. I think those are my top 5 to win. But Gradson far and ahead is my favorite to win this race. I think he wins. He's the second highest odds on DK Sportsbook. And Reddick's ahead of him. I don't think that's correct. I don't think Reddick should be ahead of him, in my opinion, because I don't think that car's that good. I could be wrong, but Gradson, out of the Xfinity regulars, has the highest odds. I have 11, 5, 12, 8. I'm assuming you mean that. I don't really know what you mean by that. Are you saying car numbers? Because, hold on. I don't have my car numbers written on the sheet. The other sheet I have them. 11, that's Haley, right? Haley drives the 11 car. 5 car. I think that's what you mean. I don't know if that's what you mean. Are you're saying that's who you think's going to win? Okay. Bro, to be honest, I don't even know who drives which car. 8's Josh Berry. I don't think he wins. Haley's number 11, I'm pretty sure. Number 5, I don't even know who is number 5. Is there a 5 in the series? And number 12? That's Brandon Jones. No, wait, Jones isn't 12. Jones is 18. I'm going to go on this other sheet because I'm tripping myself out right now. Haley's 11. Brandon Jones is 19. Okay, so I don't know what you're talking about, Ulysses, but I think that's what you're saying is who you think's going to win. Because I don't think... Oh, that's for tomorrow. That's for tomorrow. That makes so much more sense now. Hamlin, yeah, great pick. Larson, great pick. Ryan Blaney, great pick. Tyler Reddick, yeah, I mean, he's a sleeper pick. He'll probably finish in the top 10. I don't think he'll win. Yeah, okay, that makes so much more sense. I was so confused. That's so funny. Nice Gradson tomorrow, yeah. Okay, for tomorrow's race, I think who wins that race tomorrow? I like the Hamlin pick. I think Chase Elliott's going to be really good. I think Logano's going to be really fast. I think Kevin Harvick, that's my pick to win. And I think a really big sleeper is Bowman. I think Bowman we've seen do really good at Auto Club. We've seen he won a race here at Auto Club last year. And he's done really good at Darlington, had very good runs there. And those are 2 tracks he run around the high side a lot. So I think Bowman can be in for a good win. He's plus 3,000 on DraftKings right now, or 3,300 on DraftKings. I don't think that's a bad bet to put a few dollars on it. I have a hard time enough memorizing the Cup numbers. Yeah, I've got the Cup guys memorized pretty much. I mean, except for really bottom tier drivers, but for the most part, I have the Cup guys. But when it comes to Xfinity and trucks, man, I can't remember anything. I have no idea who most of those numbers are. I know a few of them. I honestly was looking up pictures for Allmendinger for his cover for today, and I wasn't sure if he was driving to 10 or to 16 this year because he's drove both in the past. So I had to go look that up because I was like, what number is he driving this year? Forgot this is Xfinity conversation. Yeah, tomorrow will be a Cup video. Tomorrow I'll be making a Cup video or a Cup live stream at the same time, 12:15 probably, maybe 12:30. I'll be having a Cup live stream, so be sure to tune in for that, and we can talk more about Cup for sure. If Yaley fails me today, I'm gonna be so mad. If he wrecks, I'm gonna cry. It's gonna be a fun time for me. If I'm even watching, I may not even watch this race today. We'll see what we're doing. I might go play some poker, so I'll probably have it on in the background or college basketball. But today's college basketball, man. Like, I'm missing college basketball right now to do a live stream. Like, Michigan, Indiana, Texas Tech are playing, and I'm doing this. But it's cool. This is gonna make us money. College basketball is just for entertainment. That's more important to make the money. All right, any more questions, or I'm probably going to get out of here. So let me know. If not, I'm probably going to head out. We still got a good amount of viewers in here. I mean, 18. Yeah, it's not the best number in the world, but for me, that's pretty good. Last question. If not Gradson today, then who? Burton. That's my next pick. Oh, wait, Cindric. I kind of pick Cindric every race. He got robbed twice last year. Exactly. He should have won both of them last year. He literally should have won back-to-back races last year. But, either Cindric or Burton. If not Gradson. That's tough. That's tough. I'm going to say Burton because I pretty much say Cindric every week. So, late cautions suck. Dude, they make me so mad. Late cautions last week in the road course race at Daytona last week, the Cup race. I've been going off about that for the whole week to my friends, to my dad, to everybody, just on Twitter, just like how stupid that caution was and it screwed me out of money, but it's cool. Thanks for doing this. Yeah, of course, man. Of course. I was once told by a wise man, never put your faith in JJ Yeley. Yeah, I agree with that, but in the Cup Series, you don't do that. In this series, this car that he's driving is not bad. It is a top 25 car for sure, and Yeley's actually not, like, he doesn't, a lot of the guys that drive these crap cars, sometimes even though this isn't really a crap car, wreck him. He doesn't wreck him. He's a clean driver, so in the Cup Series, I don't really want to play Yeley, but in this series, I don't mind playing him when he gets in that number 17. Because we've seen multiple time and time again where Yeley's done well. Cool, thanks, sir. Have a good day, mate. Yeah, you too, bro. Have a great day. Hopefully you make some money today. Oh, if you're new here, make sure to follow me on Twitter, too, at @Nateline_. That's my Twitter account. Yeah, Burton has Jason Ratcliffe, best crew chief in the field. Yeah, he's a great crew chief. I don't remember exactly who he used to crew chief, but I know he was a crew chief of a good team, of a good driver. Was it Kyle Busch? It was someone in the Cup Series, I think. Maybe it was, or maybe it was just Xfinity Series Kyle Busch. I don't know. I know he's had a lot of success. I think Burton's going to be really good. I really like his future. I don't know if he's going to end up on Joe Gibbs. He's going to end up on 2311 Racing, but I like his future a lot. I think he's going to be really good. He just needs to get out. He's a very consistent driver. Always finds his way to run in top 10 for top 5 for every single race. And he doesn't wreck a lot either. He just needs to get out front more. But at the very least, he's going to be a consistent driver, and that's always going to do well in a Cup Series. I think Burton probably makes the championship 4 this year, to be honest. I think he is. I don't think he wins. I think Cindric probably wins again, but I think he's a top 4 driver in the series this year. And I think it's Cindric, Gradson, Burton, Allmendinger maybe. Good job, dude. Thanks. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah. Gradson, Cindric, Burton, Allmendinger. It's either Allmendinger or Brandon Jones for the last spot. That's the regulars. Like, obviously, when Kyle Busch or Hamlin races, or honestly, Ty Gibbs, man. Ty Gibbs is something else. That guy he's special. He's going to be great. I bet you he races full-time Xfinity next year. I bet you Burton moves up, and he takes over at 20. Or Jones. One of those two moves up, he takes over that car. Or maybe it's just the 18, and they just kick Hamrick out because he's not that good. That could be too. Alright, guys. Well, I think that's really all I'm going to go with today. I don't see any more questions coming in. I'll give it another minute. Not going to any questions in the next minute. Okay, Matt Henson and Kyle Busch. Okay, so, alright, I was right about Kyle. Yeah, okay, Matt Henson when he drove for Joe Gibbs Racing. Alright, yeah, and both of them did great. I mean, Henson was, a championship contender? I don't think Kyle Busch won a championship when he was with Ratcliffe, but I could be wrong. But, I mean, Kyle Busch is Kyle freaking Busch at this point, so. Yeah, I'll give it another minute. If I don't get any other questions, I'm probably going to head out. This has been a nice, long live stream. Honestly, it's longer than I expected it to go. I thought this was going to be over 20 minutes ago, but then I got questions, and I kept going, so you know the vibes. Oh, my God. On a college basketball note, go Gators. Florida ends UK's 6th winning streak today, and have a great day. Yeah, Kentucky sucks. I bet Florida wins. I bet Florida to win that game. Kentucky's trash, man. But Florida isn't that good either. They'll make the tournament, but they're not going far. Alright, yep, that's all I have. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Make some money. About to go eat some pizza with the boys, because you know that's what's up. Make some money today. Be sure to stay tuned. Be here for the Cup Series video tomorrow. That's what we're here for. If you're new, make sure to leave a like, leave subscribe. All that stuff really helps me. Because I got 13 viewers still in, and I have 4 likes. So, like that video. It really, really, really helps me grow. And that's just what we're continuing growing. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Make some money. See you guys later.